This video is a guide to the different cost calculation methods available to you in Option C. One nice feature of Option C is that you're able to model the cost of your bills in 3 different ways. We'll review these in order of least to most accurate. Each method has its trade-offs, however, and as a rate becomes more accurate, it starts taking longer to implement. In your meter, click the Rates and Costs tab. This is where we can access the cost calculation methods. The first method available to you is the average total cost per consumption. This is a very simple model, and all you'll need for each bill is a total cost and consumption value. When Option C calculates the cost, it will use the following equation. The disadvantage to this rate structure is what happens when you have a month with a normal miscellaneous charge but very low usage. Consider a $100 per month miscellaneous charge on a month where we only used 1 kilowatt hour. This will result in an inflated expected cost of $100 per kilowatt hour, which is obviously inaccurate. This most commonly occurs on gas meters during summer months with low usage. You can get around this by not entering your miscellaneous charge, but if you have broken out costs anyways, you may prefer the next rate option. The next option is a bit more accurate, but requires more data. It's called average cost per consumption and cost per demand. It's much like the previous rate, except that it splits your cost into demand and consumption. To use this rate, you will need to have both consumption and demand costs for any time of use period you have listed. For both these rates, if you have these Do Not Proportionally Adjust boxes checked, your miscellaneous and credit charges are going to be preserved each month. Otherwise, they're going to be prorated by an equation. The equation for this rate is slightly more complicated and is shown here. This is assuming that you have the 2 boxes checked. As you can see, the equation separates the specific cost for consumption and the specific cost for demand, and then applies them back to the scenario usage. Scenario usage refers to the scenario you are currently reporting on, for example, baseline or SimActual. Tax is proportionally adjusted and is split between kilowatt and kilowatt hour charges. If you don't have the miscellaneous and credit boxes checked to not have them proportionally adjust, they're going to use the same equation as the tax. Another feature of both these options is the ability to enter a minimum charge. You can enter a single minimum or a monthly minimum. When the monthly minimum option is selected, a monthly minimum rates tab appears. Here you can enter a minimum value per charge for both demand and consumption, and you can also set an annual escalation rate for these. These 2 methods have the advantage of being very simple to implement and require very little data. In addition, you're guaranteed that your SimActual dollars will match your actual dollars in your reports. The disadvantage is you won't be able to do any bill audits to determine if the utility company has made any errors. For that, there's the utility rate schedule. This allows you to model your own rate, much like the way your utility company charges you. You can even model hypothetical rates to compare rate structures. We cover modeling rates in full detail in our next video tutorial.